your first time in the channel, welcome, of course. Be sure to give this stream a like, share it, comment on it. There should be a live chat going for this particular video. I do Raw Talk streams. I do SmackDown Lowdown reviews, predictions, and by way of that, thank you all so much, everyone who watched the Clash at the Castle predictions. I was so happy to see that people were actually watching them because um, Clash at the Castle was so early that yeah, it took a while to get them out there, and the show was actually going on by the time I got it out. But yeah, I really appreciate the views. I hope you all got something out of it. um, I'll be honest, I try with these different reviews and streams and whatnot to be as positive as I can be, but man, this week, especially where Raw Talk is concerned, like, just word of warning that there wasn't a ton to be positive this time around. There wasn't a ton to be positive about. If there's anything going on with like the sound, strange things, anything like that, just let me know. I'm doing as much as I can to kind of pay attention to the chat. um, Russo's not still here. Well, not here, but he's not still writing for them, is he? I know they said he was doing some stuff like earlier in the year, like with WrestleMania or something like that, but I don't know if he's still with them or not. I'm not sure. Um, yeah. I guess I will mention a couple things about Clash at the Castle though. Um, like, I was so upset. Like, I just knew, which I mean, I'm sure you've seen from. Oh, you're joking, right? I'm gonna have to check my sources on that. Um, I saw, or you may have seen that Drew McIntyre, was not successful in wresting the undisputed WWE Universal Championship away from Roman Reigns, and I definitely thought, oh, Drew McIntyre. I really thought he was gonna win. I did, and then he didn't win, and I was sad inside. And then Tyson Fury sang in like 5 different keys in 6 seconds, and I got sadder inside. So it's a rough little ending for your girl. Um, I was glad that Liv Morgan won. She needed to. I think Triple H is probably playing a long game. Shayna puts her over now, and then later on, she gets a legitimate shot, maybe when Ronda gets it back, or something like that. That was one of the funnier moments of the night, was when Tyson Fury clocked Theory. I did rather enjoy that one, admittedly. Um, yeah, the women's 6-man tag was okay, or the 6-woman tag. I liked the triple suplex spot. Very, very nice. So was Katana, man. Yeah, that one hurt. It did. And then after Sheamus didn't win, I figured like Drew actually would, because okay, the Welsh crowd has had their disappointment for the night, so all right, Drew's gonna win. They both of them lost. Um, but yeah, let's see. That's 3 matches. Gunther and Sheamus, fantastic. Uh, I felt like Sheamus's reception from the fans was like a little more heartfelt even than Drew's. Like I felt bad. Like you felt him wanting to become the ultimate Grand Slam champion and him falling short of that. But fantastic match. It was brutal looking. Like you could see like the water, like the sweat popping off of when they like smack each other. Oh man. Who am I missing? There are two more that I'm blanking out on, and I'm not sure what they were. Oh, Riddle and Seth. Woo, very good. Um, I was kind of sad that Riddle didn't win, but Seth needed to. He's lost a whole lot lately, uh, and it's very reflective of Triple H now for Seth to be like, no, no more, no rematches. I'm moving on. I'm doing something else. That feels very Triple H. And who am I missing? There was one more. Uh, hmm. I know that's all the title fights. There's somebody I'm missing. I guess it'll come back. Yeah, that was weird. Like Seth Rollins, like ugh, the whole devil thing with Becky's glasses on, but the straps on the shoes that made them look like platforms, even though they were tennis shoes. Those were cute. I like that part. Judgment Day. That's what it was. Judgment Day and Ray and Edge. Most interesting thing that happened all night long. And I'm not gonna say I told you so, but I told you. So go back and look at the predictions. I knew it. I knew this was gonna be the night. And I knew that even though it was the night, that it still wasn't gonna make Judgment Day win. That Edge and Ray were still gonna win. I didn't expect Dom to be the reason that they were going to win, though. That threw me. That threw me for a loop for sure. But anyway, okay. But stuff about Clash at the Castle. We'll go on to the Raw Talk review regarding the Raw after Clash at the Castle. So they started in with the return of Braun Strowman. Oh my goodness. This was the most interesting thing that happened last night. I felt like it was a perfect place for them to start with the post show, and it was not the last thing that happened for the night, which they kind of have a habit of doing a little bit because they'll show like you'll see the main event angle as Raw goes out, and then Raw Talk will start with the thing you literally just saw. And so it was nice that they started with Strowman since it was a little further back. Matt Camp calls him the monster of monsters. There was only Redmond and Camp. There was no third panelist. So usually when that happens, it feels a little bit empty. Like there's not as much. I don't know. There aren't as many viewpoints. Strowman looks as amazing as he did when he left. Perhaps even better. And they made him look really important by having him tear through 8 different people. You know, the tag team fatal 4-way, like craziness. Um, it did make me wonder though, like, okay, well, who would have been the number one contender for the undisputed tag team championships? And I wonder what you all think about this too. Like, who should be the number one contenders for the tag team championships? Like, should it be Los Lotharios, uh, Maximo Male Models, the Street Profits? Again, I mean, Alpha Academy, Hit Row, the formerly new and vicious Viking Raiders, New Day. I don't know. Like, just let me know. But yeah, they moved from Braun Strowman to the footage of KO and Austin Theory, who had a pretty kind of rough competitive match, but eventually KO did triumph and handed Theory even more of an embarrassment than usual. Like the man the man can't win right now. Like, he's constantly getting beat up and thrown around. It's been bad lately. But Megan Morant is with KO. She starts asking him about Theory, and he's like, do you know that he was born in like 2007? Would have made him like 15, but all right. She asks, kind of what's gotten into him lately. He's a little different. And KO's like, I don't know if anything's gotten into me, but I just need to get back to my roots. He starts into what his biggest success is, and some pyro goes off near them. And he's like, see, that pyro's for me because I started talking about my biggest success and then the pyro went off. He mentions his biggest success coming in his first years. Yes, Austin Theory is an absolute prick. His character is. I'm so tired of seeing him. I don't mean any harm, but my goodness, and do something else, something, anything. Stop with the selfie stuff and just enough. But KO says, he got most of his success when he first came up to the main roster. That's when he was solely focused on being champion. And so when he sees someone like Theory just being arrogant, he's about as tired of him as I am, I guess. He just can't help himself. When people run their mouths, he has to be the one to shut their mouths. And then he asks Morant, he's like, hey, aren't you on SmackDown? And she's like, yes. And he's like, do me a favor. When you see Roman, tell him he owes me one. They are not letting that go. And I love it. And I like the fact that he got the actual journalist involved, because it's like, well, okay, how is she going to get that message to Roman? Is that something that we're going to see on SmackDown? Like, it was interesting. But yeah. After a commercial break, they talk about Johnny Gargano's latest interview that Theory had to interrupt. His jaw was still jacked by Tyson Fury. Johnny announced that he's going to return to in-ring action, and he tells Austin Theory that he looks kind of bad. He needs to mind the sharks, the same ones that Theory reminded him about from last week. Okay, so after all of that in Raw, then we hear from him again during Raw Talk. And he talks about December 5th, 2021 being NXT War Games. That was the last match he's had. It could have been his last match ever, but he believes in happy accidents. Everything happens for a reason. Now, his first match is going to be back in Portland. This is the home of TakeOver. Wrestling is his first love. Now it's back, and he tries to think of what the crowd's going to be like, what it's going to feel like. Once Rebel Heart hits, that's his entrance theme. But once he hits the curtain, he'll know. I'm sorry if things are freezing up a little bit at the moment. Must be a bit of lag. He left out I'm leaving out a lot of NXT references, dates, place references. Just, there was a lot. This segment felt like an NXT history lesson to me. Oh, it's coming up a little bit. Yeah, this felt like an NXT history lesson to me. To be honest, it kind of bored me. And I consider myself like, kind of liking all the different history and stuff. But, oh my goodness. It was too much. It was way too much. And we've had this. We've had this before. We've seen Johnny Gargano return. We've heard him in his promo tell us about what he's done, who he is, why he matters. We've gotten it. So now, go ahead and wrestle, and we'll care more. I don't need any more NXT history lessons. Show me what you can do, and then maybe I'll go back and watch. But they go to the closing moments of the U.S. Championship match between The Miz and Bobby Lashley. They were in a steel cage. So, though they started with these underhanded tactics, Ciampa trying to run interference for the Miz, trying to keep Bobby Lashley from escaping the cage, all this different kind of stuff. Karma is blonde and looks like Hitler's wet dream, let me tell you, because Dexter Lumis popped out from under that ring and scared Miz, who was almost done, right back into the cage, and Bobby Lashley got him. And it was great. Um, and I think after that, Bobby Lashley like closed the cage behind the Miz so that Dexter Lumis could like get in and like put him to sleep. It made me feel bad because it's like, oh, Miz is going through so much. He's traumatized. Something is going on with him. But too funny to see Bobby Lashley get some comeuppance on the Miz. Yeah, I thought maybe because they're so hot on this Lumis Miz Ciampa plot, I thought maybe they might take the belt off of Bobby just to like keep that thing going. But I didn't give WWE enough credit. Admittedly, I didn't, because they were better. They were better than that, and they're keeping the title on Bobby where it needs to be. So I'm glad about that. Excuse me. They can be compelling without a title. They don't need it for that. We get another break, and then you see a rhetorical battle of the poppies. You know, Ray's apologizing to Edge. There's no hard feelings between them, but Dominic is just, he's a little too far gone. I agree, Bobby Lashley is fantastic. He is a main eventer. And because Roman is never around, they have the mid card titles basically be the full timers, top titles. And so that's what Bobby Lashley has. But Bobby Lashley needs to be one of the champions, as far as I'm concerned. WWE, Universal, whichever. He needs to be one of them. And hopefully we'll get the separation of the belts soon. I thought we were going to get it pretty soon after Clash, but doesn't appear that way. But I'm still holding out hope, though. But yeah, no hard feelings between Ray and Edge. Dominic is just on another planet right now. Like, he is just zoned out. I like his look though. Like, it's slick. It's hotter than the La Parka idea I had, because that was a little bit closer to what he was doing with Ray. So I'm glad. I'm glad that yes, Dominic's doing something a little different. But conversation moves to Damage control alt delete whatever, their celebration of their victory at Clash at the castle. Bianca points out that it took all three of them to beat her. They have nothing to celebrate unless it's one-on-one and they have the championship. They're in control of nothing. But Bayley comes back, says if and when she wants that title, she will get it one way or another, you know, pushing forward Io Sky and Dakota Kai. And I believed her in that moment too. Like, it was the first moment in a long time since Bianca won that it felt like her reign might be in a little bit of danger. Like, I loved it. Megan talks about the excitement that has come since Bayley. Bayley's talking about wanting to see what all of them are capable of together. Dakota says they'll finally have the chance to get the championships back that they are owed, because I forget who it was even that pinned Dakota Kai. This thing keeps falling down. Who pinned Dakota Kai but wasn't supposed to. She wasn't the legal man. She wasn't the legal woman. All that sort of thing. All that, but they get their chance to get the rightful championship back whenever. As you might be able to tell from the screenshot, I'm so tired. Damage CTRL. I'm so tired of them. I don't know what to do with myself. Like, it's like every post show. They have like they have a segment or two on the main show, and then every post show they have to have at least one segment. And I am just done. And it's like the same thing over and over and over again. We are here to change the landscape. We're gonna take over. We are control. We have control. Just mm. It's like 99 and they're Ricky Martin living La Vida Loca. It's like every time you turn on the radio, there they are. Like, just stop. Just stop it. Okay. All right. I like them. I don't want to see them every day. I just don't. I don't want to see them twice a week on my post shows. Um, yeah. I'm not sure about that one myself. In fact, I even forgot her part of the promo. Io said some things in Japanese and then made like the belt motion with her hands, and Bailey said she didn't have to translate it. It's just, it's the same thing every single week. And no one knows what Io is saying because they will not subtitle her, and it's not funny anymore. It wasn't funny to start with, and it's extra not funny now. But anyway, this episode was over 30 minutes long. There was no third panelist, and you felt it. Gargano was boring. Damage control was boring. Like, the only thing that made the episode close to worth watching was Kevin Owens. Um, and he was first. So it was downhill from there. Like, if it weren't for him, I would rate this sucker like 1 or 2 out of 5. I don't think I've ever given anything a 1 before. But if it weren't for Kevin Owens, this thing would be a 1 this week. But since he was there, I bumped it up to 2.5. But whew, it was a hard justification in terms of watching it. And I cannot, in good conscience, recommend a must watch segment. I just can't do it. If you haven't seen it, go look up Braun Strowman coming back. Way better use of your time. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comments. You know, how you're feeling about all these different returns. You know, who is Johnny Gargano actually going to face as his first in-ring match on Raw? Where is Strowman going to end up? Now, he's supposed to be on SmackDown this Friday, but we don't know which brand he's going to end up on. Um, Thank you all, as always, for tuning into the stream. It means so much to me. I love that you all are in the comments. You're talking, you're chatting with each other. It's a great thing to see. I'll have a new video up by Friday, it should be. And yeah, appreciate you all so much. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye. Bye bye.